going to send your kids to fight his wars. Starting in December, every male in America from 18 years old to 26 years old is going to have to register for the draft. Now, to be clear, the draft hasn't been enacted since 1973, but it can be enacted any time. Keep this in mind if you're not old enough to remember. 1.9 million Americans were drafted for Vietnam. Over 500,000 were sent there. 58,000 came back in a box. So if you don't think it's possible, then you didn't live through that time. Well, I did. There was a lottery, and it was based on your birthday. And half of our neighborhood, I think, went to Vietnam, got drafted. It's a horrible thing when there's no reason we should have been in Vietnam. Well, obviously, there's no reason we should be in Iran. But Trump wants to fight wars, as you know, on multiple continents, and we don't have enough kids to fight those wars. What the hell are we doing there? We're pleasing Donald Trump.
Shalom, shalom. We're back with another lesson. So before I get started, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rechah Kwadash, to the apostle and elder of the great millstone who rule well. I'd like to give double honor. Shalom and salutation out there to all the hopeful elect. Shalom. We're here with a lesson I'm going to call The Draft Is Coming. And as you see in this video, this guy is going over how that there will be a draft. And those of us who are in the truth, the men of the great millstone, we all believe that this is going to happen as well, because we understand that the third woe is on the brink of happening, that there will be major deaths. We also understand that the elite who rule, who's in rulership right now, want to call the numbers of the people that are living on earth. So what's a great way to call those numbers? By having a war. Not just any war, a world's war. But we also know that it is the spirit of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai who already prophesied that these things will happen and that the heathen will enter into that third war. So it's not a surprise that once World War III break out, that is going to be a military draft, because a lot of people have to go. I think they say they want to at least on the earth 500 million at best. So that means a lot of people got to die. So that means a lot of people, even here in Babylon, a lot of the men and you women, because a lot of you women that sign up for the military, you're going to be put to death ultimately. Because once you go over there, you're going to be either destroyed during the fighting or when Yahushua make his return. There won't be no coming back from over there, from the valley of Jehoshaphat, as the scriptures say. Which, let's go ahead and get that. We'll start there in Joel 2. Joel 3, starting at verse 9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Prepare for war. And that's what they're doing. That's why there's gonna be a draft. Because United States, they don't want to officially make what's going on with Iran a war, but it's a war, man. And they're gonna lead a lot more bodies to throw out there to that meat grinder once that third war really kicks off. Wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. So there's gonna be a lot of you who's gonna go down, who's gonna be drafted into this last woe, as the scriptures say. And it's the will of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua that this draft is gonna happen. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say I am strong. And we're seeing the weak, those other nations who Babylon the Great used to rule over, no longer fear Babylon the Great, like Iran. They're ready to throw hands with her, man. They're tired of this whore. They're tired of her policies. They're tired of her just doing all the bullshit that America just been doing to these other nations over the years. As the scriptures say, they drunk in the wine, now the nations are mad. Verse 11, assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathens, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause the Holy One to come down, O Lord. Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat. And we know that Jehoshaphat really is Yahweh Shaphat, meaning this is where Yahweh would judge these nations. And those who go out there to the draft, like I said, you're going to either die in the conflict or you're going to die with Yahweh Shai when he returns, because he's going to definitely make clean of that battlefield. For there will I set to judge all the nation, judge all the heathens around about. Yeah, man. And Lord gonna, like I say, he's gonna destroy these heathen nations. And those who are drafted, those who go over there, man, you're not gonna make it. You're not gonna come back. But as the scripture says in verse 9, you gotta prepare for war. And what's the way to prepare for war? By getting more men. That includes women to be battle ready. And once they're gonna send in whatever little forces they got first over there, and they get wiped out, what you think gonna happen next? Like they did over there in I can't think of that country right now, the one that's battling in Russia, when they were just taking their men straight off the street. Like literally kidnapping men, putting them in, giving them a little bit of training, then sending them out there to war to die. That strategy is gonna be adopted here in America. So a lot of you who think you're getting out of this draft, you're not going to be able to get out of it. Because if Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua is not with you, you're going to be drafted, you're going to be sent over there, and you're going to be killed, man. And the scriptures went into that. This is 2 Esdras 16, verse 33 and 34. The virgin shall mourn, having no bridegrooms, and the women shall mourn, having no husband. Slack it. Their daughter shall mourn, having no help. Why do you think that these women won't have no fiancés or husband, or the daughters have no help? Because war is going to be going on. That third woe, which the scripture says of, Salaki, verse 34. And in the war shall the bridegrooms be destroyed. You see? A lot of you going to get drafted and you're going to be destroyed. Like I said, no one will come back. You're going to either get destroyed in the conflict or get destroyed when Yahweh Shai pull up in that giant chariot. But you're going to be utterly decimated when you go over there. There is no coming home. There is no, well, I make it out, I'll see you later. No, man, you're going to die. You're going to die. You might well say, getting drafted just means you're deaf. That's the Lord proclaiming you will be destroyed. And their husband shall perish of famine, which is going to be famines and all other kind of killings over here in Babylon the Great too. But the main part is the war, that third woe. That's why this draft is coming. That's why it's been told, man, to prepare y'all. And just to back up the point, Slaki, what I said about Yahweh Shai coming, a lot of you are going to die there. Let's go into it, 2 Esdras 13. Let's see. And lo, this 2 Esdras 13 and 2, and lo, there arose a wind from the sea, and it moved all the ways thereof. And I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with 1,000 of heaven, and he turned his countenance to look at all things trembled that were seen under him. And this talking about Yahweh Shai. This is when he's pulling up to that valley of Jehoshaphat. That sea that it's talking about is the sea of people, basically those armies that will be out there, man. See, they're gonna tremble in fear when he pull up in that giant fighter ship that's gonna completely black out the sky. And wherever so his voice went out of his mouth, all they burned there heard his voice, like the earth felleth when it filleth the fire. And let's talk about that concentrated laser beam, man, that's gonna be shooting out from those ships. People just gonna be getting destroyed left and right. Let's go down to where they keep reading. And after this I behold, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of the numbers from the four winds, of the heaven to subdue the men that came out of the sea. Slaki. And this is getting into that war. But I beheld, and lo, he graved himself a great mountain, and flew upon it. But I would have seen the region or place where the hill was graven, and I could not. See? Ezra couldn't see where the hill was graven at. He couldn't see because when he's looking at the chariot, it's so big, it reminded him of a mountain. But he said if it was a mountain, he'd have been able to see where it come from. You see? But I would have, verse 8, and after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were so afraid, and yet durst fight. See, you still gonna be afraid, man, because you're gonna understand that those puny mortal weapons that you hold has no power against Yahushua, the angels, and the chariots, man. You're gonna quake with fear when you understand what you thought was protection. It's like fighting a tiger with pillowcases, or fighting a tiger with a feather. You know it's not doing no damage. And lo, as I saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand, nor sword, nor any instrument of war. But only I saw he sent out of his mouth, as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests. And they were mixed all together, and the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, which fell with violence upon the multitude which were prepared to fight, and burned them up every one, so that upon a sudden innumerable multitude nothing was to be perceived, but only dust and the smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid. And like I said, man, you're not gonna make it out of there. If you don't get killed by an enemy combatant or a friendly fire, because you know how they have it, if you try to run, they'll kill you themselves. You're ultimately going to be destroyed by Yahweh Bashim Yahushua when he come upon that great chariot. So this, once you get that Salakia, once you get that I guess that message that you've been drafted, just know, man, there is no coming back. Probably come out better just popping yourself. Because once you get that paper and they say you drafted, and you're taken to that war, once you're over there, that's it, man. Hope you told your family you loved them before you left, gave them a hug, did whatever you wanted to do, because it's going to be a death sentence, man, to go over there. There is no coming back. We just read what the bridegrooms in 2nd Ezra 16 would be killed in the wars. Now we're showing you during that same war where Yahweh shall come back, who the word ignorant called Jesus Christ. He's going to finish off the rest, man. And there's numerous other scriptures that talks about it. There is no coming back, man. You're going over there. That draft is the death sentence to anyone who get drafted. Because the Lord going to protect his men, protect his elect, that they don't go get drafted. So they ain't got to worry about that. But for those who are not of the elect, you so-called Black, Latino, Native American, the one that made the military your home, you're ultimately going to be destroyed. Who didn't take counsel of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, you're going to be destroyed, man. You're going to be sent out to that battle. And the draft is the way you're going to go. You see? This is Revelation 11 and 14. The second war is past. Behold, the third war cometh quickly, man. That third world's war has gotten here pretty fast, man. Especially if you look at the time of it's coming through Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, man. Because one day is 1,000 years to the Lord. So if it take 1,000 years just to make one day for Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, man, that time between the second and third war was no time. Matter of fact, let's see how many years has it been since World War II? Okay, it's been 101 years since World War II, man. 101 years. Think about that. It take 1,000 years thousands of our years just to make one day for Yahweh Bashim Shai. So let's just say maybe this 100 years is what, an hour? And we just seen what the scripture said. The second war is done and the third war cometh quickly. So think about that. Think about how quickly that is to Yahweh Bashim Shai. This third war is coming. Now, for those who get drafted, like I said, you're going to go into this third war and you're going to be ultimately destroyed. Just, you might well take out drafted and say it destroyed, because that's what's going to happen. If you don't get destroyed by an enemy combatant, you're going to be destroyed by Yahweh Shai and the angels when they come back. That's all there is to it. And it's the will of Yahweh Bashim Shai. So those who meant to be killed, they're going to be killed. Those who meant to be saved, they're going to be saved. This is all the will of Yahweh Bashim Shai. And that's why I'm going to end out here. Jeremiah 15 verse 2. And it shall come to pass, if they say unto thee, whither shall we go forth? Then thou shalt say to them, thus says Yahweh, such as are for death to death. So if you're meant to get drafted, if you get drafted, you were just meant to get drafted. And that's going to be the way he destroy you, man. That's the way Yahweh Bashim Shai is going to put you to death. Such as for the sword to the sword. See? And those who, such as for the chariot fire to the chariot fire. So if you were meant to get drafted, the Lord had it to where you get drafted, and you survived the war till Yahweh Shai pull up, man, that chariot fire going to get you. That was just what was going to happen to you, man. And such as for the famine to the famine, and such as are for the captivity to the captivity. Meaning, that was just your lot, man. Your lot was to get drafted. You either die by the sword when you get drafted, or you die by Yahweh Shai. All that was just your lot, man. And the will of Yahweh Bashim Shai that it plays out. But I hope this lesson will edify. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashim Shai. Shalom.